Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Jeremy, and today I want to talk about focusing on the kingdom and not your earthly needs. I'll never forget one of the weirder moments of the coronavirus pandemic. There was a lot of strange moments, but the infamous toilet paper shortage has to be up there. I realize that many of you are tensing up right now just from me using the name pandemic or corona, so be at peace. I'm not making any comments on it. But the infamous TP shortage was wild. What made it so odd is that it was seemingly created out of just panic. Somehow it got out that there was a supply chain shortage or an issue, and the panic buying began. I remember seeing pictures of people packing out shopping carts and people reselling toilet paper for crazy prices on the Facebook marketplace. At one point, we were putting together gift boxes for ICU nurses, and no joke, we were adding a few rolls of TP into each gift box, and the nurses were pumped to get it. Looking back at that, man, what a weird time. But this is how we are as people. We fear shortage or lack. We fear that we won't have enough. And Jesus knows how we are, so he addresses the issue in Luke 12:29 and verse 32. Let's take a look at these passages. And do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it. For the pagan world runs after all such things, and your Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be given to you as well. Jesus is expressing to us that focusing on these needs is a distraction. It's what the world does. Fear creates panic, and when we panic, we begin to hoard and hold. And we don't think about others. A scarcity mindset turns people into our enemies, since they're seeking out the same thing that we are. But if we rest in knowing God has us, we don't get into competition with others, and we continue meeting the needs of other people. This is one of those passages that sounds really cool to read, but is really challenging to live out. It requires a retraining of our thought life. When you start getting nervous about lack, you have to stop and remind yourself that God has you covered. He said, seek his kingdom first, and your needs will be covered. We get into trouble because what we think we need, we really don't. We need cell phones. Do we? Most of history made it without one. We need bigger houses and cars. Do we? The truth is, we feel tension about not having these things that we think we need. But if you would really pause and think it through, most of what we think we need is nothing more than a want. Jesus finished with, he will give you the kingdom. What we need is found in the kingdom of God. If you're watching this and you've been feeling fear or anxiousness about lack, I would encourage you to pray and thank God for what he has given you and evaluate if you need any of those things. It's okay to keep praying for those things, but don't let your heart get discontent. Thanks for joining us today on the Daily Devo.